Welcome to DPMF Live. Now meet our hosts.
Welcome to the DPMF live show. It's the 21st of September, 2025, Sunday night with episode 87. We are your hosts, Daniel, the master behind DPMF, a leading fintech company based out of London, Wesley, the literary push behind the future Ava Chronicles, Live Free, and myself, Mike, from latest crypto XRP. Dan, take us into the markets.
Fly through the markets, and there's a couple of assets which have started creeping up to the top 10. I thought we could have a brief discussion on. So Bitcoin ranked at number one, sitting at $115,425. It's pretty much flat on the 7 day, so a 0.01% change. Ethereum is ranked at number two, sitting at $4,481, down 2.58% on the 7 day. Our XRP, do you know where XRP is, Wes? You don't know. Just under
I'm going to guess.
Oh, go on, I've already said it now.
Sorry, I was just going to say, under the $3 mark.
I bet you was. Yeah, $2.98, and it's down 1.78% on the 7 day. Ranked at number 4 is Tether. Ranked at number 5 is BNB. The price for BNB is now at $1,051. It's up 13.45% on the 7 day.
Well, you know what's pushing that up is that they came up with that Aster. You know, CZ is pushing that Aster coin, the currency. So, and that in essence is pushing BNB up.
Networks had a bit of a market cap increase over it. Yeah, ranked at number 6, which has recently dropped from number 5, is Solana at $237. It's down 2.62% on the 7 day. Ranked at number 7 is USDC. Ranked at number 8 is Dogecoin, sitting at 26 cents, down just over 5% on the 7 day. Ranked at number 9 is Tron, sitting at 34 cents, just under 1% down on the 7 day. And Cardano ADA is at 88 cents, just down 0.38% on the 7 day. But there's a couple underneath coming up. Chainlink is ranked at number 12, and this new one, Hyperliquid, which hasn't been up here before, has started to make an arrival. Hyperliquid is ranked at number 11. Sitting at $51.72.
Wow.
First time I've seen it up there. And I have seen it.
What do we know about it, Dan?
Oh, actually, I actually know very little about it, apart from I did catch something about it having a high transaction volume for a network. I think it was the highest of all the top 10 networks, a couple of days ago, by like nearly 3 times over, I think.
Oh. Do we know the circulating supply or anything?
No, I'll tell you what, some stuff I've got here. So Hyperliquid's cumulative trading volume is approaching 1 trillion, with January alone seeing 366 billion in activity. It's now the largest player in the perpetual futures space, outpacing competitors like DYDX and Jupiter. Monthly protocol fees hit a record of 51.4 million, up from 10.4 million just a month prior. Hyperliquid is a rapidly evolving high-performance gas-free layer 1 for decentralized derivatives, with MetaMask integration and record-breaking metrics, positioning it as a serious contender to centralized exchanges. So to do with derivatives, trading equities, by the sound of it.
And it sounds like it's centralized as well, then.
Well, if I'm honest with you, I know very little about it. I just know it's got a high trading volume. So I'll look into it more through this week and probably bring it up next week. Bit of a smack bottom my side. I should probably know a bit more about it, but I'll have a look into it.
TextRP. Open up your mic. How are you?
I'm doing well. I got a fat finger here. I meant to go thumbs up on that first one.
That's fine, mate. That's fine. That's fine. We get our thumbs down is fine. It puts us in our place, keeps us on the guard. But,
There you go.
yeah, tell us, for those that don't know, who you are or about TextRP. So start off by telling us about yourself.
Sure thing. Good afternoon from my end. Good evening to a lot of you guys out in the further east. So thank you for inviting me here and, the warm welcome. My name is Will Moreno, and I'm the CEO and founder of Surge Digital Lab LLC. We are a North Carolina corporation. We're a Web3 innovation studio, and we're shaped by a journey that began many, many years ago when I started in the U.S. Army, and I'm happy to share what we've got so far today. So my story kind of started before 2000, 1998. I enlisted in the Army. I served as a telecommunications specialist. I set up remote nodes for voice and data under very tough conditions. After I retired, I pursued a degree in electronics engineering technology, and building on those previous skills, I actually began working with some defense leaders like Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, Computer Science Corp, among others, basically in the area of electronics, telecommunications, and virtual simulations. I still hold an active security clearance, and I continue to serve in the defense industry as a civilian. But my focus shifted when I entered the crypto space. So around 2018 is when I first started exploring with cryptocurrencies. And then later on, around, I would say 2020, started really looking at the XRP Ledger. Obviously, I was drawn by the speed of the ledger, the low cost transactions. But what really frustrated me was that to engage with the XRPL communities, I was downloading apps I've never had to download before. So I had to start a Discord. I had to download Telegram. I started, in fact, I wasn't even on X at the time. So I had to get on X, and I realized that, I had a bunch of apps that I had to, kind of keep track of. Not to count that even before crypto, I was already experiencing some troubles communicating with people, especially, specifically my grandmother. So she uses Facebook a whole lot, or used to. One day, I don't personally, but, one day I realized that she had actually sent me a message, many months before she had actually gone senile. A very lucid, loving, caring message. And I realized, wow, I missed out on this opportunity because I don't use this app very, on a day-to-day basis, right? But if I had a way that was, just to aggregate all my messages and not miss that, I wouldn't have missed out on that opportunity to, just connect with my grandmother before, her current state. So in 2022, I founded, there's also other pain points we can discuss in the crypto space, but that goes a little further down the line. In 2022 is when I founded Surge Digital Lab to solve this issue I was having. And TextRP Unified Messaging is our flagship. It's a platform built on decentralized protocols, and it's built natively on the XRPL. So it's a single encrypted inbox that pulls together not just your wallet-to-wallet messaging, but also your Twitter DMs, Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, Telegram, and other silos all into one unified inbox. So users use the app by connecting their wallet. So in essence, what we've done is we've made it possible for you to convert your XRP wallet into a telecommunications hub, right? With all the modern day features that you would expect from a messaging app. But it's more than a chat app. TextRP integrates the XRPL into your daily flow. So You can participate in daily things that involve the blockchain, such as you can send payments in the chat, whether it's XRP, stable coins, or meme tokens, or any other utility token on the XRPL. You can trade NFTs in a peer-to-peer situation within the chat with friends. And you can do so many other things because we are actually opening up the back end for developers to create their own widgets and serve up their own applications, whether they're DEXs, NFT utilities, DeFi utilities, games, all within the chat environment of TextRP. So recently we've hit 5,000 followers on X. We've onboarded over 5,100 wallets onto our chat platform. And we've done some fantastic partnerships, mainly with Opulence X. They have integrated their chat capabilities within their marketplace. So if you're viewing an NFT, you'll see a button that says chat with this NFT owner. And that takes you through our infrastructure so you can chat with the owner of an NFT. So for me, TextRP is, it's personal. It's about taking, the 27 years of experience that I have connecting people under pressure. And, that's, we're here to bridge Web 2 and Web 3, through the very common utility that everyone knows about, chat, which is something that doesn't require much onboarding when it comes to, say, talking about grandmas, even your grandma will chat. So we're using that experience, that user interface to onboard the larger group of people out there, not just the Web3 communities. But so that hopefully that's a good introduction. TextRP is a very multifaceted platform, and we could talk about many things, whether the technology or the use cases, the recent updates that we've had, and the recent updates that we are going to be rolling out very soon. If anyone has any questions of how the app runs, how it operates, what our tokenomics are, I'm happy to discuss all those aspects. And just for those who are listening, I did post in the comments of this space some important links, so you can check them out later on. You can connect to the app right now. We are in a live beta state, meaning that we're live. This isn't something that we are talking about doing. This is something that has been done, is currently live. We've onboarded, like I said, over 5,100 wallets. We've got about over 25 communities that have decided that they're gonna do away with Telegram and Discord and set their community on TextRP. So we're very excited for what's coming up ahead. Just recently, we won first place at the XRP Las Vegas Shark Tank competition. We took home $10,000 between myself and my CTO and partner, Mike Wood, who came on board with our team earlier this year and has done fantastic work in getting our infrastructure more optimized and more robust.
I mean, it's fantastic. Like, thanks for explaining all that. It's a very interesting product, and there's a lot of, obviously what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to open it up. We're going to ask different questions, get to know TextRP better, what it's going to do. We'll get into the questions. Dan, I see you've got your hand up. Was there a question that you wanted to ask?
I have, yeah, thank you. I didn't want to jump in on the introduction because it was flowing so well.
Cheers.
I didn't want to just step in and throw a question. I thought I'll wait till it finishes. I was listening to military background, dealing with encrypted messages and nodes, etc. Was you to do with the ATAC program from 2010? Because it sounds like you was part of that.
No, I was not. My field of work currently involves satellite communications for special ops.
You know what the ATAC system is, though?
Yeah, I know. I'm aware of the ATAC system. Yeah, and I've had We have some equipment that works with that, but I'm not in that particular product line.
I was because I used it. I used it recently again in Africa, and I was like, this guy sounds like he's been working on that. I have to ask him. I've only ever spoke to a few people who work on the program.
Very similar stuff. Basically, we're currently, I mean, in all these years, I've dealt with so many different, network types. I started off when it was, when voice and data were separate networks, right? So you had your data lines and you had your voice trunk lines. And, that's how I started up back in just before 2000. And I even got a chance to deal with the old manual switchboards back in the day. So I've gone from that to very highly encrypted telecommunication systems. I'm not really too motivated to discuss too much of what I work with. But yeah, it's pretty good stuff. It keeps me very interested in what I do. It gives me purpose in my job because I know that what we're dealing with, it does have a part in saving lives.
And communication has upgraded over the past 20, 30 years so much and so fast in so many different ways. So no, really good area to work in, and really great to listen to your introduction as well.
Thank you. And as a matter of fact, speaking of defense, we use a protocol called Matrix, which is actually used by the German Ministry of Health. It is used by the French military, and it's a protocol that's also been contracted to use by Homeland Security. So it's a world-class end-to-end encryption that we're utilizing for TextRP.
That's fantastic. That was really great. Can you talk us through using the product? So from an example of, how do you download it? Is it an app? Is it on the phone? Where do we go to use it? And how do you use it?
Okay.
You mentioned it was going to be very simple as well. It's very simple for anybody to use.
Yes, sir. So yeah, actually, we could maybe just discuss like a common use case. In fact, one that I saw earlier today here on X. Somebody was curious about someone minting a bunch of NFTs, and they were wondering who that person was, but with TextRP, you don't really have to wonder. You can just send them a message. And so to connect to TextRP, it's very simple. It's currently browser based. So you could just go to textrp.io and connect your Zaman wallet. That is our current wallet that we have integrated. We will be integrating other wallets in the future, very, very near future. So you'll be able to use a multitude of other XRP wallets to basically take that wallet and turn it into a communications terminal. So you would go to textrp.io and connect your wallet, and that's about the extent of registration. Being Web3 means that there's no registration process. We don't want your name, we don't want your email address, we certainly don't want your credit card. So we do away with all that liability by not even requesting it or requiring it. So by simply connecting your wallet, that activates your wallet and into the chat. It's as simple as that. The only thing you'll be asked is what display name you would like, and that could be as anonymous as you want it to be. Now, let's say that. Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. I was wondering if do you custody the assets once you said that you could perform transactions within TextRP upon your user interface. Do you custody those assets then?
Yeah, all the transactions that we facilitate are peer-to-peer. We never hold anyone's assets. So in the case of, say, our chat pay feature, where you're chatting away with someone and you want to send them, say, $100 in RLUSD. You simply select our chat pay widget. You select who wants to receive it, which token from XRP to any of the tokens in your wallet. And then the application basically just prepares the transaction and will push it to your wallet for you to sign. But at no point do we actually hold on to any funds, whether they're fungible or non-fungible. We do the same with our P2P NFT trading widget. But going back to like a use case that's common is, let's say you're an NFT project and you wish to communicate with a holder of your NFT, maybe a whale, maybe just someone you're trying to communicate, maybe a deal or something. We have a great tool that you can use right now. It's at the Chrome Web Store, and it's called the XRP Wallet Messenger. It's a small extension that you can download on your browser, and what this does is it adds a chat button to every NFT marketplace out there and every XRPL explorer. So that button, if you go say to XRP Cafe, you can browse an NFT, and if you have that extension installed, you'll see a chat with NFT owner button right there next to the NFT, which you can click on, and it'll open up a new tab with a chat interface, so you can do a wallet-to-wallet chat with that individual.
So to do the conversation from wallet to wallet, does that mean that the question being asked is public on the ledger?
No, we do not put any messages on the ledger for various reasons.
No,
Number one,
no.
yes.
So you wouldn't see it like that, but it would be in the metadata, wouldn't it?
No, it would not be. We do not put any of that communications information on the ledger, and there's two reasons why. The first is security and privacy, and the second being, if we scale up, we don't want to clog the ledger with just messaging, which is why we combine the XRPL with the Matrix protocol for messaging. So let's say in the case where you're communicating with someone who's never onboarded to TextRP before, right? So this wallet, you might think this wallet's not going to get the message. What we do is we have an algorithm called LRM, Ledger Relay Messaging. And so our system will detect whether or not that wallet, that you're messaging has onboarded or not. If it's onboarded, you'll know. You'll just start a new chat. If they haven't onboarded, what the system does is it will store the message securely, and then it will create a microtransaction with a notification to that wallet that they have a message pending on TextRP, and then we'll also let that recipient know whether the sender is a KYC verified user or not. Now, this KYC flag comes from the Zaman wallet, so we don't do KYC verification. We still don't know who you are. All we know is whether or not you've KYC'd before on that wallet, and that's what we send that to the notification for a little extra added transparency for the receiver.
I see. So just correct me if I'm wrong here. So if I have a wallet and someone was to message me because I'm an NFT owner, but I'm not yet connected on TextRP, then I would receive a notification. I would not receive a message. And then when I connect to TextRP, then I would be able to see the message. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Got it. Makes sense.
What by any chance does that, because it's not on the blockchain, does that mean that a lot of this stuff is running off of your server?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be held somewhere.
Yeah. So we started with, so the protocol we're using is called Matrix, and it is currently, we keep our data in Amazon Web Services, but we have a longer term plan of taking this, not just the message data, but also the compute modules onto a decentralized network. Right now we're leaning toward Evernode for a lot of that. It's just a great team. It's a great project. But it's something that we look at the technology. We're seeing how it matures before we make that decision of where we're going to migrate this information. We want to make sure that it's a mature project, a mature network.
So what? Sorry, Dan.
I was just running through TextRP. So I know you said earlier, there's a lot of people transitioning from Discord and Telegram onto TextXRP, which is fantastic. When sending a message, does that mean, one, I guess they'd have to be on the XRPL, obviously, because they'd have to own an NFT. As there's a transaction fee involved as well. Is that correct?
There is a very small crediting consumption that happens, and I'll explain how that works. So anyone who connects their wallet the first time on TextRP receives 10 what we call M credits or messaging credits. And so 10 credits, that's good for I'd say about 500 messages. Which is plenty of messaging to be doing, and, getting your feet wet in the platform. And then whenever you're ready to get more messages, we have a selection of bundles from 50 message credits to 1,000 M credits. And the lowest bundle only costs $3 USD, payable in XRP or our native token TXT. If you use the native token TXT, you actually receive 10% bonus M credits. So with 50 M credits, so we're looking at $3. That's roughly about 2,000 messages. So when it comes to, does it cost? Is there a price attached to it? Yes, there is. Because we, in the case of, a free service, for those who may not know this, if it's free, it's because your data is the product. We don't have your data, like it's encrypted. It's end-to-end encrypted. We cannot read that data. So we don't sell the data. We don't have access to the data. And so the way it's done is through the M credits consumption. So sending a message consumes about 0.02 M credits. And towards the end of the year, we're actually going to be rolling out chat rewards. So based on your credit consumption, you'll be receiving TXT token rewards, which can be used for not only purchasing M credits, but also for other avenues of spending that we are designing. Currently, we have an AMN yield farming reward going on with our good friends and partners at Opulence X, where you can stake your liquidity tokens there for yield rewards. We're partnering with a merch company where you'll be able to use the TXT token to purchase merch. And also the TXT will be used for governments to decide on future liquidity pairs. There is a token burn mechanism to the TXT. So purchases for M credits done in TXT do burn. I believe, yeah. So we had a 10% burn, but we had a recent meeting where we decided we're going to take 50% burn for any of the TXT revenue. And of course, there is a revenue sharing reward as well for our launch pack NFT holders. And we can either discuss that further, but if you want to kind of go into a deeper dive, I do have the links that I posted below as well.
So ideally, the best sort of thing for TextRP is to get that messaging service on nearly every platform that's related to blockchain technology and use it as a messaging service. You said there was a widget involved as well. I'm guessing a widget for platforms you're connected with for instant messaging.
Yeah, we have a number of ways to sort of use TextRP. The first being, of course, the browser extension that I discussed earlier, which basically, as you're exploring the XRPL space, whether you are in an XRPL NFT marketplace or on a DEX or in an Explorer, anywhere where there's an XRP address, you will have the option of messaging that address, either because a button will appear that says chat with this wallet, or you can right click on any address on any website on the internet, and it'll give you the option of messaging that wallet. That's one way to go direct peer-to-peer, wallet-to-wallet messaging. Now we discussed that yes, there are people that are, deciding to come to TextRP, but oftentimes we're equated with a social media platform, and I do think that we have a little bit of a difference here because in a way we don't want people to leave Discord and we don't want people to leave Telegram if that is what they're comfortable with, right? If that's where the majority of their people are, great. We never ask people to move platforms, but rather bridge that platform to TextRP because through our bridges, you are able to bring in that Discord community and manage multiple communities and multiple platforms from one central hub. So it's great for projects that have, one space on Discord, another space on Telegram. You can put it all together on TextRP without having to switch between the apps to communicate with your community. You just have it all in one spot. And then, of course, within TextRP, you can set up your own communities, just like Telegram and Discord. And we have these awesome native features where with Telegram, you typically have to go find a bot or find someone to build you a bot or build yourself a bot if you have the technical know-how. What we're rolling out here very soon is native token gating for all chat rooms. So if you're a room admin, you no longer have to worry about finding a bot to verify wallets and do NFT verifications. You can token gate your chat room natively. Simply pull up a widget. It'll retrieve the NFTs that you own, and you can select, okay, I want whoever owns this one, and this one. You can do combinations. You can do simple logic on these, which is going to be fun for collabs. But yeah, in essence, you'll be able to token gate a chat room very easily. We also have this really cool widget, which is a community NFT marketplace. Basically, if you're in the chat room, you can pull up this widget. It'll show you your NFTs, the NFTs of everyone in the chat room, and all the functionalities to perform transfers and trades of those NFTs for no fees. So you can create a sell offer. You can buy NFTs there for no fees whatsoever. We do not charge a broker fee, so it's truly P2P. The only thing that is consumed are the messaging credits. So, if you do a price comparison, you could trade an NFT, instead of paying a 1 or 2% trading fee on that, you could go, oh, I only paid a total of maybe 2 cents. For just the negotiation alone, just sending messages and working out a deal and being able to make that trade right there in a P2P environment.
Has there ever been a consideration using TextRP because you essentially with being connected to the ledger, you'd be connected to, there's millions of wallets that you could actually send notifications to. Have you ever considered actually doing that?
We actually have done that for ourselves. Oftentimes, whenever we have a promotion, we like to notify our launch Pack NFT holders first. And there's no better way than to use TextRP. I can simply pull up the Explorer, and I'll have a list of all the wallets that have our NFTs, and I can simply right click and be able to send them a message right away. Now, not in a message blast, there's no batching that we have as a feature yet, but certainly I have, at myself and my team, we've communicated with our holders in that way.
So let me ask you this: if the individual that you want to communicate with, he doesn't have TextRP, you said it'll send a notification to his wallet, to where in his Almond wallet. How big is this notification? I mean, can the notification itself be the actual message itself? Or is it just a very limited, hey, you got a message, you got to connect to TextRP in order to be able to read the message?
Yeah, that's right. We send only the notification. We send 2 data points. We tell them, hey, you have a notification, and we let them know whether the sender is KYC verified. No, we do not place the message itself on the ledger. It's just not a secure way to do so. And we do that through a microtransaction.
I see. Can you talk a little bit about these batch NFTs that you mentioned? What are they, or what did you call them?
Oh, the launch pack NFTs.
Launch pack.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the launch pack NFTs. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Sure. So we have two types of NFTs that are native to our platform, the launch pack NFTs and the feature pack NFTs. The launch pack NFTs are the founder level NFTs. There's a limit of 5,000. We're going to stop any minting once we begin the chat rewards phase. So up until then, they'll be available. 50 XRP at Xmart and 55 XRP on Opulence X. The 55 XRP are stakeable within the Opulence X platform, so you can get a little extra bonus from that platform with those. So they both do the same thing within our platform, and it's this. If you hold at least one Launchpack NFT, you have access to all the premium features within TextRP. So if you log in, you don't have one, you can send messages just fine. It's not a problem. You can join rooms. You can you can send payments. What you cannot do are the tap to call, voice and video call option. You have to have a specific NFT to be able to access voice and video. We don't have that NFT out yet, but those who hold Launchpack NFTs have access to every premium feature we ever will have. So it's like having a season pass where you just open up every feature. So that's number one. Number two is we actually give M credits to Launchpack holders. And then our feature packs are those NFTs that activate certain features. And we have a few already out there in the market. The first being the Discord bridge. So if you hold that NFT in your wallet, you can bridge your Discord DMs and your Discord communities onto TextRP. The other feature pack that we have is the X bridge, which does the same for X. It bridges your X DMs into TextRP. And pretty soon we'll be rolling out the Joy Pack, which involves access to some entertainment features, and of course the voice and video pack. But the way we distribute these NFTs, these feature packs, is we airdrop them first to all our launch pack holders. So why, if I have a launch pack, would I need a feature pack if I can access all these features already? Well, that's the point. We want you to become the resellers. So you can either hold on to that feature pack we airdrop you and maybe use it on another wallet, or if you have no need for it, we want you to put it out there on the market. And so that's just another benefit for our launch pack holders. And then those launch packs will also serve as reward multipliers when we spin up the chat rewards.
So I had listened to you on another Spaces, which is what actually drove me to interview you here, because it sounded very, very interesting, and it actually is very interesting. But you had also mentioned about that you had taken over a previous NFT project. Was it the Wild Stag Treehouse?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How does that tie into this?
Well, it really doesn't. That was a group that the founder, I guess he kind of just stepped back, and that community was sort of left hanging a little bit. So I offered to take control of the NFTs that they had in order to see about, giving them some support in some way. And so what we've done is actually I integrated those NFTs into our platform. So those NFTs actually serve as premium passes. They're not like launch packs. They're not eligible for the chat rewards or anything, but they do activate all the premium passes, which I felt is the least I can do for that community that was supporting that project, in which I had NFTs in it as well too.
Well, it's mighty generous of you. That sounds great. That's helping out the XRPL community. As other projects fold, sometimes we need to pick up the slack so that it doesn't give us a black eye.
Yeah, you're right. And one of the things we want to do with this platform is to serve as a support for other projects, which is why I'm so excited about the token gating. It'll allow NFT communities to coalesce around these chat rooms without needing, a whole lot of technical know-how to create, chat gates, NFT gates and meme coin gates. So they'll be able to set up things like whale rooms for the meme tokens, or just, perform different access depending on what they hold. So we're really excited about that. And another thing that we have is we do have the capability of taking these existing projects, and I cannot stress that enough, because we got some really good applications out there. I've seen games, I'm seeing token swaps, I'm seeing DeFi tools, and all these very innovative applications can be served up on TextRP as a widget. And it's not, and what that does to enhance the user experience. I mean, you're talking about, you could do a token swap, but what about a token swap that chats back with you? It's interactive and engaging. It gives you maybe education, some links where you can learn more. You can ask it some questions because there's a customer service bot on the back end that's there ready to help them with that token swap. So we find that when you take these dApps, these games and applications, and integrate them into a communications platform, things just like the creativity can soar quite rapidly. And we talk to a lot of projects who are giving us a lot of use cases that we haven't even explored yet, but they're very exciting. And they all involve around communication and connecting, whether it's stream, a live video stream of an event for the purpose of fundraising, or the purpose of selling, whether it's opening up a widget to sign a document and send payments right there. That's great for people who do consultations, where you can have it all done within the space of that, in that context of that communications. I've spoken with projects before, and we've actually done business on TextRP, where it's much easier to, share the documentation, share the payments right then and there, instead of having to tab out and do those functions on other platforms, when I could just bring those platforms onto TextRP and get it all done in that one space.
Hey, so I was wondering then, so when you perform transactions and you're using the messaging service, what kind of future proofing are you doing against apps that are already established, such as Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord, Instagram, so on? Like, if they decide to do this, are you in a good place to be ahead of the pack, so to speak?
Well, if a multi-billion-dollar company decides to get into it, I probably won't have a whole lot of luck there. But thankfully, I think that we're flying just under the radar. If you look at Telegram, recently they decided they're going to go crypto, but rather than open it up for everyone, they're going to close it down, and they're going to do it on their own chain. Our protocol is very open-ended. We started with the XRP Ledger, but it doesn't limit us to the XRP Ledger. And the protocol that we're using allows for something called federation, which means that, I'll give you an example. I'm not going to say that we are going to start a chat layer on XDC, but for the sake of example, if we spin up a chat layer for the XDC, we'll be able to communicate within the XDC, but also now you're looking at a situation in which an XRP wallet can communicate with an XDC wallet. And then if you add a third
Ah,
blockchain here,
mm,
if you add a third blockchain, let's say, you just heard Hyperliquid. Let's say we run on Hyperliquid. Now you got a situation because of the network effect where it's like, now it just, XRP can talk to XDC and Hyperliquid, and all these can talk within each other and through each other. So the more we spin up on other blockchains, the more of a network effect we'll have. And so that's one of our goals in the, longer term. But we already talking with, people from other blockchains, to, explore which would probably be the better one to start next.
mm. So are you discussing federated side chains there? Is that what you're contemplating?
Not really, but federation as in, the messaging layer for XRPL will be able to communicate with the messaging layer of the other blockchain that we set up.
Ah, right. Do you not envisage the time where there will be a standardized messaging service? Like ISO 22 is a standardized messaging service between legacy banks, so to speak.
Yeah,
So,
I see that, but right now that's what currently we have. We have many standards. I think that there will
mm,
always be there will always be people trying to improve on something. Our protocol is flexible enough that we can connect to many other messaging standards. For example, our native app, and we will be rolling out an app for like iOS and Google in the future. We're already started our planning process for that. We just have to get around a lot of restrictions, especially when it comes to Apple. They with our payments, when it comes to crypto, they want 30%. They don't want us to do crypto, so we have to do a lot of workarounds to be able to get on the Apple store. So that itself is a big challenge.
There's also the problem. They don't like apps where you have to sign in with a wallet. So you use one app to enter another app. They're massively against it, unless
Mm,
there's certain steps that pass on. Yeah, iOS can be very difficult. We managed to
mm.
get a few on before, but yeah, they're arseholes basically. I don't know if I can swear on
Yeah,
here. Ray Lee, if you could take that off the
yeah.
YouTube, that would be great. Um, yeah,
That is so.
I was challenged, I would imagine that TextRP are going down the mobile app route. I remember when I first come across you ages ago. There was something actually which came to me. What if someone wants to block, or if someone's receiving constant messages from someone, can they
Mhm.
block that address being sent to
Yes.
them? I think there's a protocol out now actually on the Ledger that come out
Yeah.
while I was away, but
Well, you can certainly block users. TextRP, if you connect to it, once you get into the interface, you're gonna find yourself in very familiar territory because it looks pretty much like any other messaging app out there. So once you familiarize yourself with that, you'll see that I could click on a user there that's sending me a message. I can block them or mute them. So you're gonna have that capability just like you would expect, like everything you expect in a modern chat app. TextRP has, to include tap to call, so I can call a wallet, and my CTO and I we always using TextRP for our teleconferences and our chats. It's just very convenient, and by the way, I do have it on my phone. Just because it's browser based doesn't mean it doesn't work on the phone. It certainly does. In fact, if you are on your Android or iPhone and you go to textrp.io and connect, you'll be able to install the app on your home screen as a PWA, so as a progressive web app. You just hit the menu and it'll say something to the extent of install on home screen or install app, and you'll be able to get that on your home screen on your phone. And then you can just tap on it and you're in.
you mentioned you was attached on Opulence. Are you on any other projects with the widget and the tech you've got with TextRP?
Well, no, it's a funny story. We're very grateful for Mel, for, taking a chance with us. And, basically what they've done is they added about, it's only about 6 lines of code that you can add to your website. And what this does, and we have the documentation if anyone's interested, if you want to add like a chat button on your site, it takes about 6 lines of code. That's it. And you can basically copy and paste. And what this does, it adds a button on your page, whether it's an NFT page or maybe a leaderboard based on XRP addresses if you have a game, that kind of deal. Anywhere where you might have a need where, for someone to communicate, you can install this piece of code and it'll add that button to your site. Now, I've actually I've approached, I would say 95% of the existing NFT marketplaces out there. And, and I've presented them with this very simple code that they can add to their sites to add extra functionality. I'm not going to say, much, but, basically it was relayed to me that, that the NFT marketplaces do not want, people communicating. That's basically how it was told to me. And I was very curious. It's like, why? And I was told by this founder that, well, if they start communicating, they'll start negotiating. And then if they negotiate, they'll want to trade P2P. And if they trade P2P, we don't get the broker fee.
So
And
it would be a broker then that would have discussed that. Yeah, that would have had that discussion.
So that's basically what, almost every, anyway, so I did my due diligence and I did offer this to, every NFT marketplace I could find. And the only one that actually agreed to do it was Opulence X, which is, again, we're very grateful for that. She's very forward looking. And so, what we did instead is we decided that if the NFT marketplaces will not add the button, we will nonetheless add it ourselves. And that's why we've got the browser extension available now at the Chrome Web Store. You can just, and I'll probably post a link here. So if you're listening to this later, you can, check the comments and I'll post a link to the Chrome Web Store. But you go to Chrome Web Store, you can type in either TextRP or XRP Wallet Messenger. And it's a free download. It's a very lightweight, situation. You can customize your button. That's all it does. It simply just adds the button on all the NFT, marketplaces with the exception of Opulence, who already integrated that button.
I remember when you reached out to me about it before and I looked into it. The reason, we didn't go forward with it was not actually for the reason you presented there, but it was because Fusion was going to be an application on mobile, with you connected. If we was to apply and there was areas which we didn't have control to go on to be on iOS, then that would be a problem.
Yeah. It would
If that
change.
makes sense. That was our
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it would be through a different route to do things, and so that's pretty much how that goes. But yeah, needless to say, if I go to Fusion dash XIO, I can look at an NFT and I do see a chat button there, and it's pretty much everywhere. Anywhere, I'm just used to seeing that button everywhere because basically the browser just scans for every XRP, website in the world and, crawls it and just knows where to add a button.
I'm just thinking if there's a workaround it. Are you, so you don't open source where someone could just apply it to their website? Would they have to get these 6 lines of code from yourself? Or is it open?
Yeah, we have, I'll send a link. It's, it's just simply, because we use a deep link schema. So, to connect to an XRP address is basically, a URL, app.textrp.io / squiggly marks. etc. / the address, right? So with that schema, any developer can sort of integrate that chat capability. But we do have an API as well. So for more integrated projects, because a chat button is kind of like a dumb interface. It's just a button. But if you want to add some additional functionalities, like some built-in chat, whereas people don't have to leave your web app and still be able to communicate, we do have API access, so third-party developers can still tap into the messaging layer while providing their own front end.
And all of this is free to the platforms. So the cost actually goes to the user itself via the what do you call them? The message points, or what do you call those?
So these are called M credits, and
M credits.
yeah, and again, everyone who comes in has about 200 messages worth of credits that they can do. If they want to re-up again, the lowest, it's as low as $3 US, and that'll probably set you up for a good few years if it's 2,000 messages. Depending on how much you communicate, of course. But then, in just a few months, when we spin up the chat rewards, there's going to be an actual reward system where you're going to be rewarded in a TXT token, which, at least in the beginning, will actually do probably more than offset what you spend on M credits.
So can you review a little bit on the security and the encryption? How does your security encryption compare to, let's say, what is found on Telegram?
Okay, sure. With Telegram, end-to-end encryption is not default, right? You have to go into your settings, you have to know what you're doing and enable end-to-end encryption, which is there, but it's just not set up as default. So it's available, but you got to know what you're doing. That's Telegram. Let's talk about Discord. Discord's easy. There is no encryption. Discord is wide open. All right. It's the most unsecure platform, known to man. So we can move on. WhatsApp is encrypted. However, WhatsApp is tied to Meta. And so by using your phone, you're actually connecting your metadata into Meta's social graph. So they're still getting data off of you.
WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram are, they're all heavy. They're heavy on data.
Yeah, they all feed data right to Meta. And so with TextRP, we use it's called the Matrix Protocol, and within that protocol, the encryption is called OLM, and that's for P2P rooms, like if I'm one-on-one chats. And then on group chats, it's called MEG OLM, which is, these are just security standards for encryption. So I'm saying those out, in case anybody wants to, Google that later. It's called OLM, Oscar Lima Mike. So, that's the encryption, algorithm that we run. We also have, it's basically based off the double ratchet encryption that is found in Signal. And speaking of Signal, we actually have a Signal bridge. So when we do go into the mobile app territory, you're looking at a situation where you're not only bridging, your Telegrams and your WhatsApp and everything, but even your Signal and anything all into one unified inbox.
Wow. Are you familiar with Huawei phones by any chance?
The worst phone known to man.
You know what? I might have to get my hands on one just to test it for you. But we're looking at. I know Mike is going to test it on a Linux phone if he hasn't yet. But we're trying all different ways in which we can bring this functionality. What we have is kind of like two different things. We have the chat layer, which is already in place, and many people can tap into it. And one of the ways to tap into it is through TextRP, our chat client, right? And so that is basically the front-facing interface. But like as I said, we have an API interface that allows third-party developers to kind of just build their own chat front end and then just tap into the back end.
I'm not sure if any of this was already mentioned, but when using the app, do both people have to have the app in order for them to communicate? Or if you just had the app, could you then just send the message to any XRP address, whether they have the app or not?
Yeah, I could send a message, but it's much like any other messaging app. It's on the person, the recipient, to open up their message to read it.
Okay.
Right? So
I'm just thinking for people that don't want messages, because there might be people that don't want any messaging attached to their accounts. So those people won't get any kind of spam or any kind of messages from other people, that like unsolicited messages, basically.
Yeah, what I would suggest, I would suggest that, I'm pretty sure people who are have spent any significant amount of time in the XRP space have more than one wallet. And that's the beauty of the XRPL, is that you can spin up a new wallet and just start using it. Of course, you have to activate it. One thing we found though is and this is where we got somebody gave us the moniker burner phones on the blockchain, is because you can actually spin up a new wallet unactivated and use it on TextRP, at least while the 10 M credits, while you still have those 10 M credits. Of course, once you run out of the 10 M credits, you're going to be required to purchase more, at which point you'll have to then activate your XRP wallet. We find that actually pretty useful, because it's one of the ways that we're going to bring in people from outside of crypto. So we're looking at onboarding. Again, messaging is something that, most people won't be so afraid of, versus if you're telling them there's this new magical internet money, right? When it comes to chat, they're already there. They already have 5 apps on their phone that chat. Right. So, coming in from that direction is, a more, in our opinion, an easier way to on-ramp people onto crypto through the, very boring yet very ubiquitous utility of chat.
Is there anything, that we've spoken about so far that you feel that we haven't covered? Is there anything else that you want to add to?
Actually, I had a question for finalising. So speaking about, that was an interesting, sort of risk/limitation thing, talking about with the, exchanges with the brokers earlier, about people making deals. Because it's quite fairly, new, are there any other sort of hurdles you've come across between, from when you started from inception to now? Is there anything else that you hadn't thought of being a problem, where you've gone, oh, actually, that, there's this, and something maybe you've overcome?
Yes. Okay. I'll bring this up.
You don't have to share more if you don't want to. Just maybe an example, because it's quite interesting.
I think it's probably important if you're a project that's, kind of somewhere between OG and now engaging with sort of a newer crowd. One thing I did notice is that, Zaman wallet is a wonderful wallet. But ever since kind of the advent of First Ledger, where, the wallets are procured via Telegram and such. So now what we're looking at is like, okay, we have a lot of people that may have an XRP wallet, but they don't have a Zaman wallet, right? So we need to somehow be able to, plug them into it. And so we'll be doing, Wallet Connect, MetaMask, and as many options as possible. So I would suggest, one of our I would say our challenges is that we did the Zaman integration and then moved on to other features. And now we're having to revisit wallet login in order to add, a more variety of wallets that are out there now.
Makes sense. I can see why it is a problem. Yeah. Yeah. Kicking the studs, actually.
I was wondering also about, you've got an API there, so that that presumably allows you to communicate with different applications almost seamlessly, but there still must be a handshake mechanism, right? I'm wondering, have you ever found any problems with integrating the API with anyone else?
No, I can't say that I have. One of our greatest challenges is just finding developers and then finding the funding for those developers. So we're just very fortunate that we've been getting a little bit of traction here with the pitch competition. Previously, we won second place at the Ripple Hackathon, Summer Hackathon. So that's been helping us a little bit. We are,
Brilliant.
yeah. I'm sorry. Were you saying something?
Is that Wes being difficult again?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm lagging a bit. I'm sorry.
Wes just said
I'm like,
cool.
It's Wes and his Huawei phone.
Yeah, these Huawei phones,
Yeah.
they can be a bit
Yeah.
complicated.
They're allergic to APIs.
Okay. But yeah, so we're just very fortunate that we've seen the beginning, quite a bit more traction these days, onboarding, these communities. And we're just, the challenge is always, people. I'd love to have more people on the team. I am so grateful that Mike, came on board as a CTO and partner, equity partner in the company. And so, one of the main, challenges I would say is not so much development of the app, but development of the team. You definitely want to find quality people to, be able to take on a specific role and be able to run, competently within that scope of work. Again, it's a process of just finding the right individual. I always need help with, good competencies in marketing, in business development, so we have, in fact, we have a meeting here in a few hours, our weekly meeting to get things going for the week. But yeah, we're always looking to see, who in the space is, a serious player because, I say we're more than a project. We're a company, incorporated in North Carolina, and, we've got some big plans up ahead. Like I said, my experience in the defense industry with government contracting, I think, we want to take some exploratory, approaches towards that type of business. I think, as a veteran-owned business, we kind of have a little bit of an advantage if we choose to go into that direction.
On the TextRP website, do you have already live chat rooms where groups of people can go in and communicate with each other? Is that something that's coming in the future?
Absolutely. If you connect your wallet, we have a search bar where you can search, the public rooms that are available. Now there might be rooms and communities that have set to private. If that's the case, I don't know. And that's the thing. I don't have access to those private communities. If I have not been invited, I do not have access. So as far as public rooms, last I counted Thursday. I believe I stopped counting at 25, but there were like maybe 27, 28. I said, hey, 25 is good. I just wanted to have a number. So I counted 25 communities. And we have over 5,100, well, actually more than that. We have like about 5,300 wallets onboarded now.
wow.
Do
Do you have any?
I'm sorry.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just wondering, do you have any safety mechanisms in place to censor the chat, to monitor the chat, to make sure safeguard the chat and things like that?
Well, we don't monitor, like if I have not been, invited to a room or I haven't joined a public room, I don't know what's going on in the room. The room administrator, which is whoever decides to start a chat room, and that could be anybody. This is as open and free as, Telegram or WhatsApp or Discord. You could just, click the plus button and create a room. or create a community space. So what happens in there, it's up to the room admin, right? So whoever the room admin is, they can moderate the room either manually or they could deploy a moderation bot to that room. We don't have a moderation bot that's native to TextRP, at least not yet, but anyone is welcome to build on TextRP. It's actually a lot simpler than you might think. We have a custom GPT where I can just basically ask it to create a chatbot for me for TextRP, and it'll spin one up in about a minute. And so, you can create your own chatbots that monitor the rooms, if you have that technical, expertise. We're also going to be creating this documentation for developers within the space to build. So, hopefully in the future, anytime you want a little help with TextRP, there's always going to be a developer out there who knows how to integrate, whatever you're trying to build onto the TextRP. It's a very simple, API interface. So, you got things like moderation bots you can put in there. You could put tip bots. You could put, game bots, AMM bots, all those bots that you see on Telegram that are being built. Those very same bots can be just converted to TextRP very simply.
Yes. The reason I ask is because if you're providing the Rails to allow these chat rooms, and perhaps something, bad goes on in these chat rooms, you might be liable. Have you made the necessary steps to safeguard these spaces? And I know you talk about the chatbots. Is the onus on the user then? Is that what you're saying, that the responsibility is on the user?
Yeah, it's just like a Telegram community. If you have someone you want to kick out, you can kick them out. If you're the room admin, you have all the room admin functionality, right? So you can invite people in, you can, make the room private, open it up, token gate it, kick people out, ban them, warn them, give them permissions, make them moderators, pretty much everything you would expect from a modern community space.
Well, no, within these chat rooms, is it not only texting, but you can also send pictures or videos and stuff like that?
Yes. All the modern accoutrements. So, emojis, videos, GIFs, you can open up a video stream and either have an AMA or, a teleconference. We could do, right now we have a two-way teleconference situation, but some projects have asked us if we can build for them a one-way live streaming situation. Once we open up that kind of a widget, basically it'll be like, I don't want to compare it to OnlyFans, but it'll be that situation where you can just live stream, your content, to a chat room, and you could say token gate it, right, with a certain NFT, where if you have to have a specific NFT to enter that chat room and, be able to view the live stream if that's what's going on there. Some people have added, I got one. One of the communities, the Fin community, they have an affiliate program with C14 for onboarding crypto, right? So you can use your credit card to purchase crypto. And they've actually added that affiliate page onto one of their TextRP chat rooms as a widget. So basically they've monetized that chat room. So anytime you're in the chat and you want to get some crypto, you don't have to leave the app. You could just do it right there in the widget, get your crypto, and that helps out that community right there, through their monetization.
I wanted to ask you, just to go back a little bit onto one of your NFTs. I believe you said that you have one of your collections, was it on xmart.art? Is that correct?
Yes. So our launch packs are on xmart.art if you want to mint one. And we do there are some traits to those. The traits are more about, our distribution than anything else. But I did put a link down there called the LP guide if you want to learn more about our launch packs. So yeah, they're available at Xmart. That's our legacy edition. And then our Opulence edition are on the Opulence X NFT marketplace. Those are 55 XRP, and those are stakeable in their platform. Now, I want to thank you guys. We haven't even talked about tokenomics at all. And I love that because we're focusing on the technology, and that's where I've always had my mind first and foremost.
Oh yeah, you're most welcome, Bernard.
Let's talk about the
Yeah,
tokenomics,
right. So
please.
moving on, tokenomics.
Talk to me about the tokenomics, baby.
I want to say one thing, because this is obviously the first time we've spoken with TextRP. My reasoning for not adopting it was because of the iOS wall, if you like, as being a problem, because I didn't want to adopt something and then have to unadopt it, if you like. I didn't think it'd be very fair. But you are considering it being an app in the future. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes.
So I think, given what you need to achieve, I know on Fusion we have our own sort of bit going on in the background, but I think there's somewhere here where we could work together going forward because we have the same achievements.
I think that a Fusion widget on TextRP would be aesthetically pleasing, and people would be able to pull up Fusion XIO right there from TextRP and purchase those beautiful NFTs from those artists without having to jump through too many hoops. Basically, what we can do is we'll send you a JSON web token that can authenticate the user so they can just basically pull up the widget and be automatically logged in because the user is identified by their wallet, right? So if you already know their wallet and we give you a JSON web token with the access token, you can actually seamlessly log in that user. Currently, as it stands, I believe I can pull up Fusion XIO if you guys don't have your cores locked up and use it right there. I just simply connect my wallet. I'll pull it up as an iframe, and then I can connect using my wallet, and then use Fusion XIO right within TextRP, which is cool because if I'm showing someone Fusion, right, I don't have to have 2-3 different tabs open, right? If I'm showing my cousin, hey, there's this website called Fusion, we're chatting away. I can just pull up the widget. Hey, you see it? Yep, I'm seeing it. We're chatting away, talking about the website in that one space without having to kind of stop the conversation to go do something else on another tab.
I am an advocate for I'm an advocate for not sharing or hiding sharing data, if you like. I think it's the right way to go, but it is a tough market. It is a tough business. The only reason like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram do so well is because they pull so much user data. It's a new Web3 way. It's not very well known, and I think given what you're doing, it is important. And I see if you are to succeed in making TextRP a mobile app, then I'm pretty sure that people would flourish across anyway. So, and then it would qualify for other people to then go on iOS if they're going down that route. So I see a potential there where, because we're still developing Fusion anyway, we've got like at least a year and a half of development on it, all planned out, before we even go down that route, before it goes as a mobile app. So quite a lot to do.
And really, it never stops.
When there's XLS protocols that come on, especially when you didn't see them coming, and you have to add them in. Some are easier than others.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely see, I think it's workable, and I think it sounds like, some support would be handy your way. We don't have the messaging on right now because we've already adjusted it from the last iOS policy, which changed about 8 months ago, whenever it was. So we don't even have one on at the moment, just because we're trying to line it up so when we do go live, it aligns with policy.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going that way anyway. So if you're online and then we launch with ours, it would be fine. So I think there's something we could do here. and I think some support getting you on iOS as well and looking at the intricate details of the policy and making
Mhm.
sure it all aligns, getting you on, then us on later, is completely workable. A challenge nonetheless, but completely workable.
Yeah. There's no problem that can't be engineered out with if you throw enough money at it and time.
Well, yeah, that's also true. Yeah. Yeah, you could keep throwing money at it. Yeah. And plus you've got some really outstanding things going on. It sounds incredibly interesting. I haven't gone into XRP yet. I'm going to go into it. I'm going to have a good look and probably join a few areas. I think you've got a good thing going on. It is the new era or the new digital revolution coming. There will be a bit of there'll be a bit of friction I see in the future when it comes to users' data being used to profit. We're not at that stage yet. I think it's in the future, but as you're building out the foundations now going forward, it would put you in a good place in the future. So I can see where you're going. I think we should,
Yeah.
I think we should have a
Web,
conversation offline, Bernard.
so yeah, Web 2 is still out here. It still has a place. WhatsApp isn't going anywhere. Neither is Discord or Telegram. They're still going to be around. And so our approach is, when it comes to social media, I've seen so many projects come and go. And, anyone can start a social media network. It's not really about starting it. It's about convincing enough people to join in, and then they have to bring in their network of friends. And that is usually where the challenge lies. And so our approach is not to convince people to change from what they're doing to TextRP, but rather to keep doing what they're doing, because their chances are they're already on 2 or 3 or 4 messaging apps already. This is just a way to roll all those messages up into one convenient inbox while integrating with the blockchain to be able to do all the cool things that blockchain does, such as payments, DeFi protocols, gaming, and all that stuff in that one space.
We've got some interesting NFT programs coming up. Some are going to collide coming at the same time, which wasn't sort of intentional. But I know, like, for example, with the AVA program we have, there's going to be people who are going to want to talk to people to purchase it. So it's going to be beneficial for your project, because people will want to speak to people about that. That is the kind of thing where people would talk about making a deal, because, well, because that's just how it's going to be. It doesn't affect us. We're a 0% trading fee.
Yeah. Imagine that. If I could talk to someone who had the Avers, which I'm, really into, imagine if I could talk to them directly, bang, nice and easy, instead of going after having to find them.
Exactly.
It could be a great application, this. It really could be a great application.
The timing to put it together actually could be. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking looking forward. For stuff like that, it's actually a very useful tool. It's useful for both parties. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Wes.
Good.
No, I think I'll grab you for a chat offline.
Okay, yeah, of course. I'm available for you, and it's just there's so many things we can really work on. We've got a number of avenues. In fact, one of them I haven't even discussed, which is our purchasing for M credits. I did mention earlier that we take XRP and we take TXT, which is our native token. If you use TXT, the native token, you actually get 10% bonus M credits when you purchase. We have the capability of integrating other tokens as a form of payment that we can accept. And that is a service that we are getting ready to spin up for projects who have either a utility token or a meme coin and wish to add extra utility to that token by integrating it within the TextRP M credit purchasing engine, where people can then use that token to purchase M credits. So that's something that we'll be rolling out. Not so much publicly. We'll just be reaching out to various projects and seeing who wants to, partner up and get that extra, where they can now add messaging utility to their white paper through TextRP.
where can we buy the MXRP token, please?
Oh, watch out.
Wesley, it's
I
the
tell you what,
TXT, and it's on the
give me a
XRPL.
minute.
Well,
I'll put the trust line in the comments. I should have done it at the start. So,
I can do. I've got.
Thank you very
I
much.
want to make sure that we put the official one there because unfortunately we do have a few imposters out there. Someone created a TextRP coin. That's not it. It's TXT. So in fact, I'll post the link here. You guys
yeah,
can get
I tell you
that.
what, while you do that, we'll talk in the background so it gives you time to maneuver. But,
Perfect. Thank you.
yeah, speaking of Wes, yeah, I think people
Yeah,
direct messaging each other for AVAs with the AVA program later is going to be, something that's going to be needed, especially if we go on a lot of different exchanges. And I
massive.
could just see it because we don't care about people making deals. It doesn't have an effect. So the weakness is that for one platform, for a broker platform, it is actually a sort of benefit for us.
Exactly.
We just need to make it we just need to enable that capability. So, this almost enables a niche market to become mainstream. You can take a hyper niche market such as the AVA market, provide this messaging service, and then bang, straight away, you're in touch with those in your same niche, which is a great accomplishment. That's the benefit that I can see from this.
So do I. And then I think, if we was to take it on and with it starting to flourish, I could imagine that the other projects would start taking it on as well. And what Bernard would need, ideally, you'd want every single platform that's anything to do with NFTs taking on TextRP, wouldn't you? Ideally, you want the maximum. So it would be quite a support going forward. Yeah, I don't know, it would support us. We can do a direct messaging service in Fusion, no problem. But to be able to message
Someone else has done it.
between platforms is, why not would be the answer. Why not? Being an advocate for the Web3 ecosystem, why not? Something I'm going to talk about.
So just to double check here, XRP, what is your proper name that you need to be introduced by, please? Because we're having
Okay.
a
So
bloody palaver.
yeah, so we are TextRP. It rhymes with a certain cryptocurrency that I'm very fond of. And it's so it's just like TextRP. It doesn't really mean anything except there is a loose connection to the a game called Text Role Playing, which is like an RPG game that's based on text, where you're basically doing all text. But we're not really related to that, but I like TextRP because it rhymes with XRP. Really, that's all it is.
So what name do you go by then? Or are you not doxing
Yeah,
yourself?
so my name is Will Moreno, and I am based out of North Carolina.
I
Yeah.
I was talking to the guys during the show, right? And Wes goes, I said his name's Will, and he goes, no, it's Bernard. And I went, what? And then, so he said, and then I've called you Bernard on here. Wes, you got me up like a kipper there. I had trust in you.
It was the Huawei.
sorry.
It was the Huawei phone again, creating issues.
Wait, in my defense, I didn't say Bernard, I said Bernard.
All right, well, whichever way you want to say it.
It was actually Bernard.
You just screwed me, all right, on a live show, and I trusted
Sorry.
you. I will get you back.
I'll name my next dog Bernard.
Sorry, Will. I did call you Bernard earlier. That wasn't my fault. That was the phone line on the panel.
Worry. No problem.
It's like you can call me anything you want, baby, right?
But yeah, just call me on TextRP.
Just call me on TextRP, baby. You know it. You know it, man. Call me whatever you want, but make sure you do it on my messaging service.
Oh, Wes, while we're on, because Raylene's going to absolutely kill us because we've gone over an hour. Do you want to do the question from the last show? And then we'll give Will a bit of time to think for the next one.
So Will, I must take full responsibility here. Usually I write questions down from the last guest. And I messed up last time. I haven't been able to write the question down, but we can still go ahead because I have a solution here. You need to ask a question for the next guest. So please, if you can think of a good question to ask for the next guest. And because I've messed up, basically, you're going to have to come back for the next one, next Sunday at 8:00.
Okay.
Tune in. And I will get the last question for you as well.
Wes,
So we've got to do it then.
being serious with me right now? The one task.
I am being, yes.
The whole
Yes,
time
I'm
we've been
so
on
sorry.
here, you haven't even had it ready.
Daniel, I gave him a 40 minutes
I-
heads up before the show. I swear, and it's Wesley is being the lovely Wesley.
Mate, you are well on your
so
you're
sorry.
well on your way to listener, mate. You don't even deserve a speaker section right now.
But yes, but Will,
So
if you have any questions for the next show.
you want me to come up with a question for the next guest? All right.
Yeah, so it can be anything that you'd like.
Okay.
Questions. So when we do the show, we're obviously not going to rely on Wes to write it down no more because he's failed at it, but we will deliver that question to the next guest and then they will deliver the answer. So the question can literally be anything. And weirdly, over the years we've been doing this, it was about a year and a half, the questions always seem quite relatable to the next guest, weirdly. And it's I don't know, would you agree, Liv-Free? It's a bit strange. Usually the question is quite relatable to what someone's doing. So it can be whatever you like, whatever kind of question. It doesn't even need to be completely blockchain related. It can just be a question that you want to put someone under pressure. You know,
Okay.
anything you like.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know who the next guest is. So this question may apply or may not. All right. So let's see. The question is, can what you're building survive or be sustainable without a native token?
Oh, good question.
That's a good question.
Let me ask you this, right? Because that is a good question, and I have reasons for why we issued assets. What's the reason for you issuing an asset instead of just relying on XRP?
I was hoping you'd ask it right back at me. I love it. Okay, so like as I mentioned when I introduced myself, I came in 2018. I have seen every type of project come and go. You guys are actually congratulations, you're still here. I love it. There's so many that have just fallen by the wayside, or we just don't hear from them. And one of the common things that I notice is that, in the crypto space, and this is something that personally just doesn't rub me right. The raising of tokens, and I'm not saying that this is wrong, by the way. I'm just saying that it's not for me, right? The raising of funding through a pre-sale of either tokens or NFTs, right? To me, that was like, oh, well, what do you have other than a promise and a white paper? I'm not saying that this is for every case, but that just for me was like, it increased the risk factor, right? So I came on board when I created TextRP, there was 0 tokens, and I wanted to use NFTs in a way that they were not being used at all at the time, which was for the ability to modularize your chat experience by holding different NFTs. You can have all of the features you want and none of the features you don't, right? So I started in that way, and we did not pre-sale any NFTs or any token until way after I actually launched the prototype and then launched the beta. So we had the technology, we had the app live before we started offering the launch Pack NFTs. Now, as for the token, our app originally did not include a native token. We were just going to accept XRP and any partner tokens. However, during my talks with various developers and project leaders, especially during Apex 2024, the discussion of M credits purchases kind of took a turn into the very realistic situation where a lot of people are turned off from having to pay for a service that is chat based, right? Because they're just so used to it being free. And even if you put forth the argument that no, it's free because you are the product, not everyone will see it as, much of a barrier anyway. They're still gonna, to this day, we all here talk about, oh yeah, this is, it's not secure or Discord sucks, but yet we're gonna go on Discord, right? So, for all the talk that we do about, that, it's still gonna happen. And so, the talk went about, so somebody suggested, and also from the community was suggested that we develop some kind of reward mechanism that would encourage and reward people to use the platform. And so we tied the M credits consumption to the tokenomics of the TXT token, which we developed towards the end of last year and then launched in January of this year, 2 years after the application was already up and running.
It's gone a bit quiet. I didn't know if I should jump in. I was waiting for one of the hosts.
I was waiting
It was a
to
bloody
see what
good
everyone else
point,
was
right?
doing.
It was a very good point. Yeah. It's the way people think. Yeah. I know exactly where you're coming from. It's an uphill battle going forward, but it's kind of the right way to do things.
Yeah, and also, I thought that starting a token prior to getting work on developing the app would distract me from developing the app, which is the point of having the project, right? Then I would have my time more focused on managing a token, right? And would take time away from what I really want to build, which is not a tokenomic system. That's going to be part of the overall platform, which is a Web3 communications hub. So I'm very focused and highly focused on the technology. We did launch the token. It's massive airdrop that happened. The remaining tokens are in the chat rewards wallet, and they will begin distribution when we spin up the chat rewards engine. And so people will be able to claim TXT on a daily basis, and use it for many things, not just for sending payments within chat pay or purchasing M credits, but they can also stake it in the liquidity pools as well.
Well, that definitely has been.
Dude.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering. Do you think you could ever see this being incorporated into the gaming system? To buy, such as like what Fortnite incorporates with the V-Bucks. Could you message things and exchange those kind of things? Could you API into that? That's what I'm asking. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And yes. So, we started going into the GameFi, leaning into it a little bit through a partnership with Airdrop Gaming. So if you download their game Airdrop Hero, which is like a fighting game in the style of Mortal Kombat, one of the rewards is the TXT token that you can get, among other XRPL tokens. Now through the widgets is where things get really fun, because now, you can embed a game into a widget, say it's a multiplayer game. And, because it's tied into our API, it can say, for example, know when a new user joins the room. And then it could, adapt itself accordingly. And because the users are based on XRP wallet addresses, if there is a reward in that game, whether it's a skills based game or like a bingo game or something, I may have laid out some alpha, but this game may be able to interact with the players, right, and then pay them out, receive payments if it's set up that way. So yeah, it's very open to gamification. In fact, we have a project called Merklore. They are in the business of creating realities for adults to play these role-playing games that are, based on magic and lore. Yeah, they looked at TextRP and said, this is the place where we can set up these sort of adventure games and scavenger hunts, especially when you can token gate a room. You can imagine a scavenger hunt where it's like, okay, if you have this NFT, find the owner of this NFT. You got to hunt them, and oh well, there's the wallet. I can chat with them in TextRP. They'll give me a link to a room that only I can access if I have this NFT. Once I'm in that room, the adventure continues. There's my next side quest is there, and it can take me on to the next room and so on. And so they're building a whole game out of the way our rooms are structured, and that's going to be fun to watch them build out.
A lot of sorry, a lot of things to look forward to in the future, Will. I mean, the
Yes,
things
sir.
that you've been talking about tonight have been fantastic. I mean, we can't wait to see where this leads TextRP, moving forward. Because we're in an amazing space. Cryptocurrency and blockchain is, we're still very early. Everyone's a builder, everyone's getting their sales out there. So we appreciate the time that you've taken to come onto DPMF Live and tell us all about it.
Thank you
Obviously,
so much. I did want to say one more shout out if you let me.
Oh, absolutely. Go for it.
And that's for another one of our partners, which is myweb3.me. This is like a link tree for Web3. So if you're using Linktree, you might want to look at myweb3.me, where you can set up a profile with all the links to your official social media platforms. And yes, TextRP is one of the social media platforms that you can, put in a link to your room on TextRP, on myweb3.me. So, just want to give a shout out to them, and, you guys should, take a look at them. They have I like to call it like a link tree for Web3, but it's more, and I know that they have a lot more planned. So, just wanted to thank them for integrating TextRP into their platform as well.
fantastic. No, that's fantastic. Thanks for that.
And thank you, Daniel, Wesley, the whole gang at DP Monks. You guys are freaking rock stars, and you guys have been around for a while, as far as back as I remember. So, it's just really cool to spend an hour or over an hour with you guys just chatting it up.
Oh, thank you very much, Will. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really have.
Great having you on. Oh, really great.
God bless you, man.
All right. I'm sorry, Mike, we're going to say something else?
No, I was just going to say, over to you, Live Free.
All right. Let's finish up the show here. This show was sponsored by FusionXIO.com, a premier permissionless NFT platform where you can mint and sell NFTs in any of the over 54,000 coins on the XRPL. We now have the capability to see 3D and augmented reality NFTs and to mint the new DynamicNFTs. And soon to be where you need to go to get the future Yem Part 1 and 2 rewards. The current Yem Infinity reward has not gone out yet, but it should go out later today. Remember, to be able to unlock the yield earning mechanism, you will need to own at least one XIO, and the amount of Yem Infinity reward depends on the amount of XDX you own. Thank you for joining us today and learning all about TextRP. Thank you, Will Moreno. If you have any questions, please reach out to them, and also follow all the speakers here. Please don't take anything we say as financial advice. Do your own research. With that said, we bid you farewell and hope you join us again next week for another deep dive into the blockchain world. This show is recorded. We apologize, Raylene, for making it extra long for you. So if you missed a part of it, you can go back and listen to the show. Please share and have a beautiful day, people. Bye-bye. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys. God bless.
Thank you.